Welcome back to the Brewbound live stream. I'm Brewbound Managing Editor Jessica Infante, and I am thrilled to be having a conversation with one of our 2024 rising stars. Joining me right now for what I hope is going to be a delightful chat is New Trail Brewing's Director of Brewing Operations and partner, Mike LaRosa. Mike, welcome to the live stream. It's so good to be with you again. How you doing?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks for having me. Things are good. Just busy.
Good. I mean, that's certainly
Yeah,
better than the alternative. So.
yeah, for sure.
Well, you and I last caught up over the summer at New Trail's first ever distributor summit back in August, and you and the team unveiled an impressive and extremely focused innovation slate for 2025 that includes new IPAs like Trailmarker West Coast IPA, Broken Heels Non-Alc IPA, 24/7 Hazy Session IPA, which I am personally really excited to see come out. Why was it important for New Trail to quadruple down on IPA next year, in the words of CEO and co-founder Dave Hertwig?
Yeah, I mean, New Trail has had a lot of success in hazy IPA, and we have seen a lot of opportunity in the other segments within IPA. I mean, we're currently, I think it's like 20% of Pennsylvania's 16-ounce can format in hazy IPA, and we've gone after West Coast a handful of times in the past, but not really put a whole lot of vigor behind it. And this year when we were sitting at the innovations table, it's like, well, what do we want to do? Where are the opportunities? And we see it in American West Coast IPA. We see it in NA. Obviously, NA is on a huge rise. And personally, my favorite innovation that we're doing is 24/7, a 4.72% session IPA.
You want to move this? Cool. Amazing. I mean, the West Coast in Trailmarker, it's the liquid's delicious, and I
Thank
hate
you.
myself for calling it liquid just now. Sorry to
It's
anybody
okay.
out there that is offended by that. We used to have a rule at the old brewery I used to work at was like, if you had called it liquid, you had to put $5 in a jar or something. So it's just interesting to see an East Coast brewery going West Coast, because for years it's been the West Coast breweries taking what we used to think of as New England IPA, kind of co-opting it, calling it hazy IPA, and making and selling a lot of it. So nice to have some cross coastal IPA production going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about it when we spoke in August, the East Coast and West Coast thing, and predating even hazy or New England IPA, what used to be East Coast IPA, like very, very aromatic, pale, slightly bitter balanced beer. And I sort of just took that approach to approaching West Coast. I mean, the majority of my career has been in successful hazy IPA breweries that started as East Coast IPA breweries, and I just don't see how we couldn't make just as good as liquid on the East Coast as they do on the West Coast.
For sure. You guys have totally nailed it. So you've taken a page out of the classic craft beer playbook to launch Trailmarker on draft this month. How is it going?
It's a little early to say. I think we launched it maybe 2 weeks ago, so we're starting to see reorders and whatnot for draft. But we're very positive about it. I think it's going to work for us. I think it's going to go well.
Nice, nice, great. Well, I can't wait to hear more about it once the numbers start to come in. I'm sure you've got people on the streets doing sampling and everything that needs to get done. So
Yeah, I mean that's the idea with going draft first is just to try to adopt the early innovators. Get the bar owners involved in it.
amazing. Well, IPA is not the only style New Trail dabbles in. Tell the audience at home all about the Crisp family and how its new extensions are doing, and what else you have on the books for next year.
Sure. Yeah. So Crisp is our American lager. It's kind of priced to be domestic, competitive. So for us, I think the retail or the consumer is paying about $25 for a 24 pack at the end use, and I think a 15 pack for the consumer is generally around would be like 15-ish dollars, 15 to 14 to $18. I want to say, depending on the retail markup. It's a no frills lager. It's base malt. It's got some a little bit of rice in it, and we use the Yakima Chief hops American Noble line to hop it. It's maybe a little bit hoppy for the style, but the consumer's accepting it, and we crush it. So within Crisp, we brand familyed it. So there's Crisp, Crisp Lime, which is a lime version of Crisp, and then Crisp Amber. Pennsylvania is obviously a really strong market for amber lager, and we saw an opportunity in that.
Makes all the sense in the world. How are crisp drinkers different from your IPA drinkers?
I think it's a bit of yes and with
Mm,
Crisp and our drinkers. People that are bringing Broken Heels, our flagship IPA home in a 12 pack or in 4 pack 16 ounce, also need to stock an American lager in their fridge so that when their friends come over and watch the game or um, when they're out in their garages or camping or doing whatever they're doing, they want to have something that their friends that aren't necessarily IPA drinkers or craft drinkers can enjoy with them. And so I think we're capturing that segment, but we're also by extension grabbing um, adventurous domestic drinkers, people that might be interested in import or local brands that want to try something that's made around their homes.
awesome. And I know you've got a special partnership with Penn State too, right? How's that beer going?
It's great. Yeah. So Penn State, we have a partnership with their NIL or one of their NILs where a dollar per case goes to the foundation to support students. With that, we were able to enter Beaver Stadium where Penn State football plays. So we're now sold in 16-ounce cans there. I believe it's Crisp Amber, State Light, which is the Penn State beer. I think Broken Heels made it into the stadium. So that's across Beaver Stadium, Bryce Jordan, and there's another one that's escaping my brain at the moment.
Have you gotten to any games this year?
I have not personally, no, but our team has been out quite a bit.
Nice, nice. I mean, that must be
Yeah,
a really fun partnership to activate in the field.
for sure. They're so close to us. I mean, it's the closest stadium to us by far. I think it's about 45 minutes to an hour to get to State College from here. But if we were to go to Philadelphia, New York, or Pittsburgh, it would be every bit of 3 hours.
For sure. So, one thing that I found really interesting about New Trail's portfolio is that you found success in a few package formats. And we've touched on this a little bit, but there's a few package formats that really work for you guys that maybe aren't working as well for other craft brewers right now. But like you mentioned, 16-ounce 4 packs and 15 packs. Why is it important to offer these packages? And what do you think you guys are doing that's making it work?
Yeah. So I mean, 16-ounce 4 packs for us have been very successful. I would say in the earlier years of the company, it probably dominated more than 50 to 60% of our spread. Today, I was looking at the numbers before we hopped on. I think we're somewhere north of 25% of what we produce by volume is going into 16-ounce format. And that's
Wild.
primarily Broken Heels, right behind me.
Mm,
Um, we've seen success with the one-off brands, and ultimately our approach to the business is to offer what the consumer wants in whatever format they want. So whether it's a 12 pack 12 ounce, or 4 pack 16 ounce, or single serve 19.2, we want to get it to them that way.
it's clearly resonating. So that's really great. Now, our team was really impressed with New Trail's meteoric growth in the past 6 years. As Dave had shared during that wholesaler summit back in August, you hadn't had a down month yet. The beers are obviously on point, but what else do you think might be contributing to the success of the brewery?
I think it's the basics. It's
Mm,
silly to say, but I think it's the basics. We make very good beer. We have very good message. We hire very good people, and we treat those people very well. And I think it's just an all around team effort. Nobody really says that's not my job around here. Everybody is willing to do whatever needs to get done to get it done.
I love that. And I think your branding is spectacular. Every brand family within the portfolio looks and feels like New Trail, but also is distinct from each other, which I think is really important because consumers are busy and they've got a lot going on in their lives. If you can give them the visual cues to remind them, like, hey, this is the brand that you like, they are probably more inclined to pick something else up off the shelf that maybe they haven't had before. So, really smart.
For sure, yeah. I mean, no, we argue about branding all the time. It's a certainly extremely important to the success of any business.
It's a super difficult process. I can certainly attest to that. So, Mike, as you mentioned, you've been at several successful breweries on the East Coast, but you've been at New Trail for a while. You, in your experience, what do you think makes New Trail special? I know you touched on the people, so maybe that's another, rabbit hole we want to go down. But the brewery clearly has something very special going for it.
Sure. I mean, I was with some pretty emerging breweries at the times that they were emerging. I was with Kane in the mid tens as well as Tired Hands right after that, and Time and Place. Right when I was at Kane, East Coast IPA was really starting to be on the rise, and Michael had a great model. It was entirely self distribution. I believe he's still entirely self distribution just within New Jersey. I learned a lot there about trying to bunker down and just go a mile deep, like we say here, and hold your ground. And when I was with Tired Hands, it was right at the formation of the Fermenteria, their second location, which is what led to Milkshake IPA, a lot of innovation, and the rise of the 16-ounce 4-pack model. I learned a lot about really just fast-paced, you're going east and then all of a sudden you're going west style innovation. And I just kind of combined that sort of knowledge to what New Trail became.
Amazing. Well, Mike, it's always a joy to chat with you. And all of us here are so happy to be able to name you guys a rising star for 2024. We cannot wait to see what happens for New Trail in 2025. And thank you for being here with me today.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor.